So my name's Mathew De Kersaint Giraudeau.
I'm Eleanor Sikorsky.
And we did a piece called an artwork that didn't quite work out for one reason or another, but experimented to put an S on that, so it was artworks that didn't work out for one reason or another. I did send an email, but it's fine, it doesn't matter. But I did send an email about the S and they didn't.
Okay.
Very good.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Mathew De Kersaint Giraudeau and I'm an artist.
My name's Eleanor Sikorsky and I'm a dancer.
Before we start, we should thank Chapter for having us back here, even after everything that happened.
Our lawyers and probation officers have urged us to be clear about how grateful we are to be back in Wales, to tell our story. Although it's not the story that either of us would really want to be telling, but...
Yeah, absolutely not. Also, I just want to say, before we start, I know I've overheard a few conversations in the bar. Neither me nor Ellie hate children, and that's, not true. So, our artwork is about a project that we sort of come up with in 2011 for Chapter, and then things have sort of gone awry. And so within the performance that we did this year, we sort of spoke about how that came about and about the problems that we sort of found working for Chapter. It wasn't really Chapter's fault that things went wrong, and we sort of reveal the changes in our thinking from being quite left-wing idealists to now being quite, well, I've outlived them now. You know if I was talking.
Someone after the show actually sort of called your character a fascist.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But I think I would say Nick Clegg he's not a fascist because he's got very beautiful eyes. And if you look at any far right leader, their eyes are they're often very small, very in the middle of their head. Nick Clegg has beautiful eyes and a beautiful wife.
But, yeah. So the idea was to take...
Oh yeah, that's when we hit on the idea of the radical summer camp.
Yeah, so we took 20 or so 11-year-olds, in their summer holiday before starting secondary school, and we took them to the Welsh coast and spent a week with them doing workshops and planting the seeds of radical, anarchic, communal politics into their heads. We pitched the idea to Chapter, and they gave us a bit of money.
Not loads of money.
No, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't big.
Whether you're writing something, like language can never quite represent exactly what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking in front of people, obviously it's a very different experience, so you kind of get different things across, and this interview is going to be completely different than if people were just talking to us.
Yeah.
Or, it's all...
I think the idea of storytelling is really interesting, and I think that's what's interesting is that you never really, when you read a book, you would never think about whether it was true or not, because that's sort of not the point. But we have this idea of an original or an authentic experience, and I think it's nice to push at that, because I think on a sort of real political level, we're encouraged to think of ourselves as having a single narrative that binds us and makes us an individual person. But it doesn't matter.
Stingy, really.
So the first week of August 2011, we drove a minivan of 11-year-olds from Bethnal Green Primary School, which is in East London, to Abersock, and that's on the Peninsula, right? Is that right? Is that how you say it? Yeah, cool. And we all stayed in a big house, which used to be a hostel, so it had lots of bunk beds, very cheap, which was
necessary because we had not much money.
Not much money.
We kind of ate together and we tried to be as much of a commune as possible.
Me and Ellie hadn't worked together before, so we decided to get together to write this. We haven't ever done performance together before. And actually, we were sort of going out when I wrote the proposal, and then we weren't going.
Sort of going out.
Yeah, Yeah.
We were like going out.
I think this is semantic, isn't it? I'm not sure this is going to come across very well. I think just.
That's alright then.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were. Matt wrote me into the application, and then broke up with me.
I think there was an element of consensus. I thought to.
And
But then I wrote a very nice email when we got
yeah, it was very nice.
when we got the commission. It was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
And also said that I'd be able to pay. And then we were able to sit and write together, which was really nice. I originally did think I was going to write all of it, but I wrote a whole performance and it was quite bad. So I had to get Ellie in to do a bit of zhuzhing. Well, it's writing, not zhuzhing, writing.
So we sort of shared the making of it more than maybe we thought we would, which is really nice.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, that was Friday. Then on Saturday, I led a workshop which was called The Choreography of Resistance. And before the summer camp, I'd been going to a lot of protests in London, mainly against the rise of tuition fees, student protests. And I've been observing police tactics and thinking of them as very highly choreographed acts.
I said, look, I've had a lot of comments about Ellie, and we've all sat down.
Great hair. That's what a lot of people say.
You've got, yeah.
Yeah.
This thing.
A lot of people actually have said really specific things like,
Yes.
"Oh, I think it would work better if you just changed that like one slide, or if you just didn't say that at the beginning, like maybe save it till later," which is really nice because it's like people have these very specific ideas which kind of they want it to work better for them, or like they want it to sort of.
Obviously, we won't implement any of them, but it's nice for people to.
Engage.
It's the illusion of choice, isn't it? I think what we saw that day in those riots, every human should see. It wasn't just me and Ellie that broke up that day, but me, Ellie, and the rest of humanity. I think it's useful to realise that you can form alliances with people, temporary alliances of convenience, but you can never have a meaningful relationship with another human being. Once you realise that behind the soft skin of a lover is the dark miasma of self-interest, and behind the tiny innocent eyes of a child lies only the hardened nothing of animal instinct. It's very hard to come to terms with a fairy tale sold to us by political idealists. Yeah, me and Ellie broke up, but it wasn't anything we did. We broke up because we had the raw truth of humanity revealed to us that day. And the truth is this: there is no love, there is only indifference.